Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if you were Sean Diddy Combs, it has begun.
Present, and no
Remember when we
longer
told
has
you
a
that
voice
Diddy
who will
wanted to
pursue
quiet
justice for
everybody
her
that said he was a
accusation.
POS and he wanted to
As
quiet
of the Aiken
everybody
against
because he's
Diddy,
going to start on
no
his
expansion
comeback?
of the
Well, guess
investigation,
what? Mark
no
Emilio was
isolation
in the
orders,
kitchen cooking up
no
something
equipment
great.
access,
And the
no
best they got
suspension of
us
attorney
was, did he start
communication.
domestic violence and drug programs in prison? It's all about redemption. Mofo, you've been locked up in those with those rats and roaches for the last 2 years. How long has this man been locked up? At least the last 30, 65 calendar days. You've been locked up with the rats and roaches. You can never get into a program like that. You can never get counseling. You literally have been drop kicking men and women for the last 20 years. I don't care that the feds didn't bring enough proof and didn't call enough witnesses. We all know what this is. Even Diddy admitted he's a violent criminal and those high-risk lawyers. And now you're coming in and telling us that you finally, when you want to make sure Judge Aaron does not throw the book at you, you are finally checks notes getting into prison to work on your wayward ways. Diddy, you are the patron saint of wayward smacks workers. You are a violent, convicted 2 times federal smacks crime criminal. Y'all, who is this for? I know who it's for. This is about the people that want to, and hear me out. Judge Aaron is going to give Diddy what he gives him. If he gives him 5 years, Diddy's going to try to appeal. If he gives Diddy probation, I don't know. I think the world might, whatever. But just hear me out on this because it's something that needs to be said. Diddy's team is doing this one to set up an appeal to see if they can get out earlier, if Judge Aaron throws the book at him. But there's another thing that's happening that nobody actually wants to talk about. Diddy's team needs to give the public, the people that want to forgive him, they need to give him them something to hold on to. If Diddy just goes in and out, right? If he just goes in and out and there's no rehabilitation, how can you show your face in a Sean John tank top? How can you go to a Diddy reunion tour? How can you stand there when Diddy and Kanye allegedly go on the group thing? It's almost impossible. Now hear me out on this though. Who is buying this? Didn't Diddy tell us, and I guess Diddy is a convicted liar. Did Diddy not tell us that he had already tried to get counseling when he was beating on Cassie? Didn't he tell us that? Didn't Diddy try to get counseling when he got caught beating on Jay? But the thing is, he tried to get into it and then he got arrested. And when he got arrested, he was in jail all this time, literally coordinating photo ops with Baby Love, having her like daddy cake. Wasn't he having all his kids being like, yeah, it's just a legacy? Wasn't he having everybody do all that stuff? But he never once bothered to get help for the issue. Again, let's get into this article. I will say this, and I've said it once and I've said it twice. I do believe that if Diddy is let out with just probation, I don't think it will, but if he is, I firmly believe he is going to land himself back in jail in the next 5 or 10 years. Either that or he's going to land himself broke from paying somebody off, or somebody's going to literally wind up floating in the Hudson so Diddy can't protect himself. Again, I don't care what anyone says. The fact that Diddy knew he was under federal surveillance, the fact that he knew he was facing RICO charges, the fact that he knew one of the charges were the violence, but another kidnapping SMMX traffic, but another was the Mann Act transportation of SMMX workers. And he couldn't help himself. Not only did he transport SMMX workers time and time again, but he also brutally beat up the woman and then forced her to service the sex worker. It does not matter to me that the jury somehow thought that's what happens in these swinging lifestyles. Even though the swingers have said leave us out of it, we don't know what's going on. Swinging lifestyle is nothing like Diddy said. Let's get into this. This is directly from TMZ at this point is Diddy's PR people. But get it how you live it, right? Mark Gargo's, what's it called? Nat Morals. Listen, this PR web goes very, very deep. Get it how you live it. Diddy is already attempting to rehabilitate himself. He's enrolling in self-improvement programs while in federal lockup to address his drug use and violence against women. Sources close to the T situation tell TMZ that Diddy is in the STOP program. Of course, the feds offer inmates focus on preventing sexual assault, domestic and dating violence. Let me get this straight. Diddy is in a program that's going to prevent SADV and dating violence. We're told he's undergoing therapy and is in the Dr. Harvey K. Wexler drug abuse program. You know, that boy is going to get high off his own supply soon as he gets out. He probably when he thought he was getting out on bail, they had the toy lining up. The jury basically told him that he can pass drugs to whoever he wants, and that's not distribution. It's not illegal. The jury told him that he can beat up girlfriends, that he can force people to engage in sexual acts. The jury told him it's all okay. So, I mean, I see why he's like, let's get this poppin'. Our sources say Diddy is using the programs to work hard on bettering himself, and one source called it his path toward redemption. I know there is going to be a bunch of washed up pygmies, cause nobody can defend an Irish man like a washed up pygmy. Remember I said the patriarchy requires three things to even slightly value a woman. You must be
present,
beautiful.
and no longer has a
and you must
voice
be
who will
dumb.
pursue
If you are
justice
young
for
and
her
beautiful, but you're
accusation.
not dumb.
As
Yeah,
of the
you're a
taken
bad
against
woman.
Diddy,
If you are young,
no
but you're
expansion
not
of the
beautiful,
investigation,
like that's the
no
only
isolation
thing.
orders,
And the women that bet
no
on
equipment
that, and they
access,
are no longer
no
young or
suspension of
beautiful,
attorney
but they are
communication.
But dumbness has like, they want you to be dumb so they can have access to you. Not because it's just dumb, right? So the pygmies that are washed up, I know they are going to literally go crazy over this. The path to redemption. All I need for him to do is literally show up in a black church. Look how many times Kanye West showed his ass and showed up in a church or Sunday service talking about some. Every time that I look at you and we all forgave him. Get out of here. Now they said, of course, cynics, that would be me, say there's a different motivation. Diddy's federal trial featured lots of testimony about domestic abuse against Cassie and Jane, as well as his rampant use of drugs like Molly. It's not uncommon. It wasn't just Molly. They had meth in there. They had Tucci. They had the whole season 1 of Breaking Bad. Now he's just on the little party drug, Molly. It's not uncommon for convicted individuals to enter various programs to show the judge they're serious about rehabilitation ahead of sentencing. As we reported, Diddy's sentencing will go down on October 3rd. We're told he actually started the drug treatment before his arrest last year and he's continued while in bars. Is it considered drug treatment program if you have no more access to drugs? I just thought that was just drying out. I do want to say this, and it needs to be said. How arrogant and unrepentant of Diddy that you were sitting in a federal judge for over a federal jail for over a year, and you still chose to do nothing. And only when you think it might affect your freedom, are you now trying to do some up. How much could he fed? I hope Judge Aaron laughs in his face. How much can this mofo change in 6 weeks? Did he felt, here's where we're going. Oh, did he felt federal prosecutors dealt federal prosecutors a major loss when he was found not guilty on racketeering and sex trafficking charges, but the jury nailed him on 2 lesser charges for prostitution. They are also sex crimes. Prosecutors have recommended a 4-year sentence, but it'll be up to Judge Aaron. Wait, prosecutors recommended 4 years for each charge or 4-year, and how would TMZ know that? How would TMZ know how much prosecutors recommended? Let me go. I don't think they recommended a 4-year sentence. The judge said, show me times where people have been convicted of the Mann Act with no prior criminals, and let's see what the average sentence is. The prosecution went into the case law and they found cases that said, hey, 4. Now, here's the thing with the probation sentencing report. That's when they look at who Diddy is, what Diddy does, and if those 4 years are actually, if it's appropriate. Because if it's not appropriate, then what are we really doing? Honestly, what are we really doing? If it's not appropriate, it could be because in those cases Diddy is more violent and more unrepentant. So those 4 years can creep up to 4, 5, 6, 7 years. Anyway, we'll see what happens with that. Listen, again, Diddy is totally doing this to get a lesser sentence. But like everything that we know now of Diddy's legacy and the people support him, just pathetic, tired, old, done. But you know what? What do y'all think in the comments? Let me know.